Good morning, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here with you today. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your words. Thank you, Shri, for your words, and Paya also. It's really amazing to be here after my last trip was in 2019. It was for vacation. It was a personal trip. But I can see right now so many things have changed since 2019. So Comité Colbert was already there 15 years ago for a study tour. And it's really a pleasure to be back here at the invitation of the Indo-French Chamber of Commerce and Industry to take part in this first luxury symposium. I also take time to visit yesterday already some wonderful workshops. Yesterday I discovered the work of Vikram Goyal and Gaurav Gupta, whose creativity I discovered rooted in a form of heritage, and I will take time also to visit the latest commercial projects and to meet the local players in many fields, and thus to better understand the country's recent development and those that are still to come. So many things have changed, what I've just said, happened in India since our last professional trip in 2008. For 20 years, as you all know here today, India has been heralded as a promising market and working at that time for the economic daily Les Echos. I was here many times ago, I think it was 15 years or 20 years ago, for the opening of the first luxury stores in hotels in Delhi. And what happens today? The economic and social cultural indicators finally seem to show that the planets may be aligning. And if I had to choose just one of these signals, French study company IFOP is going to reveal in 15 days a huge work done here on this market, and we can learn that the desire for luxury product has grown by 75%, and the percentage is even bigger among the higher incomes. Questioned about the definition of luxury, Indian consumers have the best answer from a Western point of view. A third is product excellence and know-how. Another third is the unique experience. And the last one is the status, the social success. What is clearly interesting to learn in this study of IFOP is that Indian consumers consider that Indian luxury is more based on heritage, emotion, excellence of service and rarity, while the Western luxury is perceived as more prestige, expensive, exclusive, and boldness. Sounds like a roadmap, no? So let's talk about Comité Colbert, its mission, maybe you don't know, his action, which could perhaps inspire India, just as we have inspired the creation of similar association in Europe, Italy, Spain, Germany, and Great Britain. So it's my pleasure today to share with you some insights about Comité Colbert that probably many of you don't know. So let's start by, if it works, a short video. So, okay, a short video that sets the scene of this lecture. if you need to remember just one word from this video, that could be the word together. Because Comité Colbert is a collective, a membership association that brings together on an equal footing, very important to understand, major companies, but also some SMEs from 14 different sectors, all gathered around this purpose that drives our everyday action. Another important thing to remember, to understand, is what unites us is more important than what divides us. Many students often ask me, how do you manage people of LVMH, Hermès, Chanel, Saint Laurent, seated at the same table to discuss? And our answer, simple. We leave the competition outside and we focus on issues of common interest. And there are so many topics of common interest that I'm going to comment right now. You have here, the next slide please, a portrait of Jean-Jacques Guerlain, who was the founder of Comité Colbert in 1954. You also discover the names of the 14 pioneering family companies of Comité Colbert. And don't forget that at the time, despite their worldwide renown today, these were very small companies when Comité Colbert was founded in 1954. But first, I'm not sure that you're familiar with Jean-Baptiste Colbert, you have here, whose name we bear. As you can see, Mr. Colbert was the Minister of Finance of the Sun King Louis XIV. And we wouldn't be here together this morning to discuss about the leadership of the French luxury industry without this man. He's the man who put the foundation of the industry with a simple idea, simple but visionary. To enrich the kingdom, he had this wonderful vision to specialize the country in manufacturing products of the highest quality. He had also very early the conviction that economies goes with an ecosystem. So he created forests to supply energy, royal manufacturers to produce, and shipping companies like the famous East India shipping companies to import and export raw materials and finished products. He also had the conviction that culture and economy should be reconciled to build a strong kingdom. That's why he created academies, such as fine arts, letters, and architecture. And here is the legacy of Colbert. On the next slide, you discover a map of France which still bears witness to Colbert's powerful legacy. Because you have here all the manufacturers, come back to all the factories of our companies in France. And this is the legacy of Colbert. No need for a relocation in France of luxury industry. There are 188 different territories of savoir-faire in France, as many factories. Many different valleys specialize in crystal, cosmetic, jewelry, silk, embroidery, leatherwork, and porcelain, wine and spirits, of course, and so on. And our strength is to have been able to transform all this know-how into world-renowned brands and beyond, to have preserved and amplified the fame of French art de vivre, born under the century of Colbert. In the next slide, please. As I said earlier, Comité Colbert was founded in 1954 by the perfumer Jean-Jacques Guerlain with two main targets: to restore the soft power of this industry in France and abroad after years of war and deprivation, and to preserve arts and craft also weakened by the Second World War. And 70 years later, the preservation of the savoir-faire and the know-how is still on urge. And all our companies in France, but it's the same in Italy, in Germany, Portugal, and Spain, are facing a very strong shortage of talents in their workshops. So we need vocations among young people, and that's why we are going to hold in a few days in Paris the second edition of this fair, of this landmark fair event called Les Demain du Luxe. So for those who speak French, Les Demain, and Demain, we play with the words Les Demain, tomorrow. Where it is a fair where young people from 13 years old to or over 20 can experiment, practice a few simple gestures of craftsmen in fashion, jewelry, leatherwork, crystal, even hospitality inside spaces of 30 among our best well-known maisons. The fact is that we must give visibility to what was until now invisible, the craftsmanship. We bring people behind the scenes to see and to understand how things are manufactured. And you have here the video and discover what our visitors can do and practice during this event. We received during the 3 days of this event last year over 4,000 people, young people. It was quite a success, so we are going to host the second edition in a few days. Next, please. So in addition to this event and to boost visibility on social media, we've also concluded a partnership with TikTok, because young people are on TikTok, in order to showcase in a more fun way different young artisans or apprentices. And let's have a look to the video.
La liste des choses que je préfère dans mon métier. 1. L'absence d'école. Il n'y a pas de formation pour apprendre le savoir-faire du plissage. C'est au cours d'un stage que j'ai découvert ce savoir-faire et que j'ai ensuite voulu postuler pour continuer à l'apprendre et le pratiquer. 2. La transmission. Vu qu'il n'y a pas d'école pour apprendre le savoir-faire du plissage, je le transmets aux nouveaux arrivants. C'est comme une passation de flambeau. 3. La chorégraphie. La gestuelle du plissage se réalise à 2. C'est comme une chorégraphie de danse. Il faut être synchro, en rythme et trouver une bonne synergie avec son binôme. 4. La créativité. Nous avons la chance d'avoir dans l'atelier plus de 3000 métiers qui nous permettent d'expérimenter et d'innover en termes de matière pour réaliser différents plissés. 5. La diversité. On travaille à la fois pour la mode mais aussi pour la décoration. Cela nous permet d'explorer différentes matières comme le cuir, le papier, la paille ou le liège. C'est très riche. Ces 5 points font que je suis passionnée par mon métier. Si tu as des questions sur mon métier, n'hésite pas à les mettre en commentaire.
So we've just launched a challenge on TikTok, and the young artisans and apprentices have 1 minute to share their passion. And we're going to reward the winner in a few days in Paris during the fair. And we are also a strategy on Instagram. Yeah, the next one. And the strategy on Instagram is quite different, with more educational contents and video dedicated to savoir-faire, of course, but also to the heritage of our members, their current actions, particularly in terms of ESG and the future of this industry. We know that a young generation is searching for new kind of contents to learn more about our industry, and this is what we do on Instagram. And we're also working on a TV program for a national channel like Top Chef or Master Chef about cooking. Because of these programs, so many of young people want to become chefs right now. So we thought, let's do the same thing with art and craft. So let's have a look to the teaser we've recorded for this TV program, maybe next year or in 2025 on French TV.
Ils sont les magiciens de la matière, ils sont artisans d'art. Ils maîtrisent le geste et leurs mains ont du génie. Ils possèdent un savoir-faire et une expertise unique au monde. Ils représentent la France et ses territoires. Et ils vont concourir pour déterminer qui sont les meilleurs d'entre eux.
Allez, c'est parti. C'est la dernière ligne droite.
La pression est palpable.
Si on se rate, eh ben, il faut tout recommencer.
Donc c'est un peu le stress, mais on va y arriver.
Le but, c'est de trouver quelle technique sera la plus adaptée pour l'objet en question.
Les qualités du candidat, l'exigence, la discipline, la rigueur, mais un bon artisan d'art, il y a quelque chose qui va comme vivre en lui, ça reste la passion.
La seule limite, l'imagination des candidats.
Là, j'assemble le pied avant avec le pied arrière. Et ça va, c'est mieux que ce que je pensais. Ouais.
Ça rend bien, en vrai.
Ouais, grave.
Pour nous, c'est aussi très plaisant de voir qu'on arrive à transmettre aussi une partie de cette flamme, de cet esprit d'entraide.
À la clé, intégrer l'une des deux équipes qui s'affronteront dans un duel inédit. Chacun va devoir faire corps avec l'autre pour créer un chef-d'œuvre hors norme.
Bien travaillé.
So sorry it was in French, but I think I'm sure that you understand the spirit of this program, which once again aims to raise the profile of art and craft and inspire people to take up the profession. So we are also very active to make our craftsmen as role models. And to do so, we have obtained 12 years ago that each year around 10 of our artisans are rewarded by the Minister of Culture through a formal ceremony at the ministry as Knights of Art and Letter. And this is a very important order, previously dedicated only to artists, so the extension of this award to craftsmen was a major milestone. Our second main topic, obviously of general interest, is sustainability, because all our members are very committed to reducing their carbon footprint. It's a systemic issue because that challenges the entire life cycle of our products, from the sourcing to the after sale. So we started many years ago by agreed on a common manifesto around values. Then we started by exchanging good practices. Then 2 years ago, we thought that it was time to communicate collectively on our actions. That is why we did through events like the Earth University at UNESCO in Paris, and through this first ESG report that you have on the slide. One year later, we published our second ESG report as a magazine to be circulated with the first French economic daily, Les Echos. And next step, we've decided to communicate on ESG on the American market with a new magazine circulated with the New York Times to explain once again what our members are doing in terms of sustainability in general and on the American market in particular. 3 figures to have in mind regarding Comité Colbert and ESG. Next slides, please. Yeah, and this is to show how much committed we are at every level of our companies, big or small. We're also very active, next slide please, in Paris and Brussels to defend and protect our sectors at a time when 152 regulations are being discussed as part of the Green Deal, designed to make Europe the first carbon neutral continent. 12 years ago, we've also created a super association, European one, that have been created on our model in Italy, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, Germany, and Great Britain. And all together, we are very active with a permanent representative in Brussels. Since its creation, next slide please, Comité Colbert is very active also abroad with a lot of studies and exhibition to promote collectively, like I'm doing today in front of you, the French luxury and art de vivre. We went to Japan, then to Hong Kong and China, when none of our companies were located there in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. our ambition to stay one step ahead. And that's also why I'm here today. And to do so, we have permanent, next slide please, we have permanent representative abroad on our 4 main markets who are presidents or GM of our companies locally. Their responsibility is to lead the community of French luxury houses, to conduct meetings or studies in these different countries, and to organize events there. And the next event we are working on, next slide please, will take place in China in November 2024. Next year, probably you know, France and China are going to celebrate the 60th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. And many events will take place in Paris and vice versa in China. And we've decided to organize in Shanghai a conversation of know-how between French craftsmen of our companies and Chinese craftsmen. Luxury is about culture, I'm sure you know. And this is a cultural exchange. And the work of hands brings people and culture together. And as you can see from this photo, we have already successfully organized a similar rich dialogue in Abu Dhabi in 2019. And that's why we are repeating the concept today with, we hope so, another success among Chinese people. But we also, next slide please, host events in France to showcase the best of craftsmanship, the best of our craftsmanship and culture, as we did in last June for very few important clients of our brands, of our maison, from all over Europe. And it's another occasion to make our brands working all together to create experiences mixing brands and sectors. And let's have a look to the event.
C'était assez immersif, on a vraiment découvert le backstage de ces maisons. Ça m'a permis de découvrir vraiment l'artisanat derrière ces maisons, ce qui est assez formidable.
It's amazing to come to Paris and to France and to see craftsmanship thriving so strongly. And that's really important, and I think it's so much part of the French culture. It's amazing to be.
It was literally the most important thing I've probably done in like years and years.
That was the first time I appreciated the luxury of Paris altogether with such an easy way.
I'm just very impressed. I think so many emotions during these 2 days. It's just very memorable.
C'était une caverne d'Ali Baba, pleine de secrets, de trésors en tout genre, et ponctuée d'accents avec la porcelaine de Sèvres qui répondait au décor qu'on voyait. Et après, on a pu mettre la main à la pâte, et ça, c'était un très grand bonheur.
It was a very fulfilling task, and I enjoyed it, and I could do it for hours, so it was amazing.
We had the amazing opportunity to go to Louis Vuitton house. We discovered the whole history about the house, the family, and the chance to visit the atelier. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
J'ai dégusté le cognac Hennessy. De ma vie, j'avais bu un verre de cognac. Aujourd'hui, je sais comment je dois déguster, donc c'était extraordinaire.
magical. It's different than other events, I must say. I'm really, really happy and thankful for the invitation. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Baccarat, c'était magnifique. Les fleurs, c'était icône. Il donne à le vase de Baccarat quelque chose que c'est inimaginable.
It's so difficult to say how beautiful everything was, and also tonight everything was so perfectly organized.
The evening yesterday in Versailles was like a beginner writer of fairy tale stories. I was feeling like in the real history. It was amazing.
It was an amazing experience to have a private audience at Versailles. It was a wonderful event with beautiful dîner and fireworks, which was amazing.
Exceptional. The best was the firework. I've never seen anything like that, so I'm very, very happy to be part of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And please continue to organize this kind of beautiful event at Comité Colbert.
It was just, thank you, to show that how stronger we are when we work all together. And this video is a strong testimony of that. So to conclude this presentation, here again is the question to which we are all looking for an answer. Is India the next promising market? A month ago, we welcomed His Excellency Ambassador of India in France, Shawad Ashraf, to our traditional board luncheon. And we collectively told him that some of the obstacles to the growth of a luxury market in India remain important, such as custom duties or regulations about traceability. It seems like everything brings us closer to India, while many things still separate us from it. And I don't know how large is the road. What about India itself? Is India the next big player in the global luxury sphere? India has already mastered some of the 3 ingredients of luxury. The first is rational. Luxury is about having the best materials and working with the best craftsmen with the respect of the roots. You've already had these values for centuries. My advice, pamper them, because they're your most precious asset. The second ingredient of luxury is emotional, and therefore necessarily more subjective, and concerns desirability, refinement, the dream, how to create and maintain it. And I know that India has designers and stylists who nurture this vision. The last ingredient is relational, because luxury is about sharing, showing your success, showing your culture, showing your modernity, showing your identity. And we can see everywhere in the world the rising influence, even on global brands, of local identities. So I could not conclude this presentation by saying again that I'm really delighted to have shared this moment with all of you, and I'm looking forward to listening the different testimonials today to share my impression on my return to Paris. Be proud of who you are, be collective. This is the best way to have a lasting impact. And as Srimovi said earlier, India matters. I'm convinced of that. Thank you for your attention.